Welcome to the TPC Desktop video series. This video will introduce you to our Quick View technology. Let's come over to the taskbar and go to the Sample Surveys folder. And I'm going to open a file called Learn Quick View. Traverse PC opens the survey and displays the last drawing that was used. Now, before I go any farther with this, I want to go back to the Task Manager, and I want to come down here to the bottom where we have the Getting Started panel. Notice the Drawing Learning Guide. Let's click on that and open that learning guide. This is a learning guide dedicated specifically to learning how to use Quick View to turn your data into drawings. I've highlighted page 6 that introduces the Quick View concept. I'd like you to write down Drawing Learning Guide, page 6. After the video, you can come back here and you can review what Traverse PC lists here. These are the 5 steps to the Quick View concept. You're going to use these steps over and over again as you turn your data into drawings. They're easy to learn, they're fun to use, and I'll show you some of those here today. So Drawing Learning Guide, page 6. Let's come back to the desktop now. I'm going to put the cursor over the Traverse Manager, and once it opens, I'm going to pin it to the desktop. I want you to notice that I've organized the traverses into what are called groups, in this case traverse groups. I've turned them on here because groups help us organize our traverses into logical groups. Notice that I've got a group for the features, which are the foundations that are displayed in the drawing. I've got a group for the lots that are displayed in the drawing, and another group for the setbacks. We're going to use this group structure or this group layout to help us do our drawing a little bit quick. I want to introduce you today to some of the key features of this Quick View technology. The first thing I'd like to talk about are the little check boxes that you see here in the Traverse Manager. If a traverse has a check next to it, we say that traverse is tagged. If a traverse doesn't have a check next to it, like the foundation ties traverse here, that traverse is untagged. I want you to watch now as I select the features just by clicking on the group name, and I'm going to click one of the boxes to untag those traverses. Notice how they disappear from the drawing. Watch now as I tag the traverses, they reappear. So tagging traverses turns that traverse on or off in the current drawing. By the way, you can do the same thing with surfaces. If you have multiple surfaces, simply tag a surface to include it in the drawing. Those of you who come from a CAD background, this is similar to what you might otherwise use layers for. Let's watch as I come up and tag the foundation ties. Do you see how they're included now in the drawing? If I untag them, they're hidden once again. So tagging and untagging traverses is one of the key components or key features of this Quick View technology. Another thing that's key to Quick View technology is something we call traverse settings. Each one of these traverses listed here in the Traverse Manager has its own traverse settings. I'm going to highlight these same foundation traverses. I'm going to right click and choose Traverse Settings. Traverse PC displays the traverse setting dialog and tells me I have 3 traverses selected. I'm going to just move this over to the side. We have a number of tabs here for different aspects of the way that the traverse is drawn. I'm going to click on the Fill tab, and I'm simply going to say I'd like to fill these traverses with a solid silver color. Let's do something similar for the setbacks. So let's click the setbacks group. Traverse PC highlights them. Let's right click one of the setback traverses. Again, we'll choose Traverse Settings. But this time, instead of a fill, we want to change the color and the thickness of the lines. So again, let's move this off to the side so we can see what we're doing. I'm going to choose a silver color, and I'm going to make the line just a little thinner. Okay. Now when we choose OK, Traverse PC redraws those setback lines in a more diminutive color and with a thinner line. Notice that we changed all 3 setbacks at once, just like we changed all 3 foundation traverses. This is one of the keys to the Quick View technology, is that I can make one change that affects quite a bit of the drawing without having to go to each object or each entity within the drawing and make that same change. It makes drawing really fast and fun inside of Traverse PC. Now so far, I've accessed these traverse settings from the Traverse Manager. I'm going to access the traverse settings now from the drawing itself. So let's bring the cursor over here to the south lot, which is lot 2, and I'm going to double click anything that's part of this traverse. In this case, the distance of the bottom line. Let's double click that. Traverse PC opens that same traverse settings dialog and tells me that I'm accessing the settings for lot 2. This time I want to change the way that Traverse PC labels those curves. So I'm going to tell Traverse PC that curves are to be labeled and draw a leader next to them. Let's come down and choose OK, and I see that Traverse PC now has labeled the one curve in lot 2. I'm going to right click anything that's part of lot 2 again, and I'm going to tell Traverse PC that under Traverse Tools I want to copy those traverse settings. Now any other traverse that I click on will receive those same settings. There's a lot more we could say about unique traverse settings, saving and recalling these settings, but I want to move on and talk about some other aspects of the Quick View technology. Another key component is the drawing settings. I'm going to access these simply by right-clicking any blank spot on the drawing and choosing Drawing Settings from the pop-up menu. The drawing settings are global settings that are independent of the traverses in the drawing. So I can tell Traverse PC that I want to add distance units to all the distances in the drawing. I can tell Traverse PC that I want to add extra spaces to all the bearings in the drawing. Watch what happens now when I choose OK and zoom in just on part of my drawing up here. I can see that I now have the annotation for the distance units added to the distance, and I've created space in the bearing. If we went back and turned that back to the way it was just a moment ago, I can see that the changes that Traverse PC makes in the drawing. So drawing settings, unlike traverse settings, affect the entire drawing. Let's go ahead and zoom back out to the full page. So tagging and untagging traverses, changing the traverse settings, and changing the drawing settings are key components in how Quick View technology takes your data and turns it into a drawing.